Hey everyone, this is Brian here from Massey's Main Entertainment. It's been a little bit of time here. We had a few, holidays and vacations to kind of work through here. But we're back at you here doing our Building the Perfect Album series. Made it all the way to 1988. Kind of excited to keep this going since we had such a big viewership for 1987. So we're really excited to get back in here and finish off these 80s as fast as we can. I'm joined today by Rich Strickler. Rich, he has his own channel. I'm going to post it down below. Got a lot of great material on there. Just recently posted his ranking of the top car songs from their debut album. So check that out if you get a chance. Also joining me today is Doc. Doc up in the big Canada. And he's been battling some power issues, but we're okay. We're back and we're going to get some things done. So we're at 1988. What did you guys think of the year? I mean, 1987 was a pretty solid year, but we're in 88 now. It feels a little different to me, but I'll go with what you guys think.
Yeah, Doc.
Yeah, I would say it's not as strong as 87, man. You get right down to the nuts and bolts of it. 12 really good songs. Don't ask me to do 24. That's the way I would put it. So it's, I think that's probably the summary of what it is. I mean, there's hits and misses in some things, and some albums are pretty big that come out and stuff like that.
Right.
Some just aren't in my sweet spot either. So that's just the way it is.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of a little abyss between 87. I think 89 is a pretty good year too. But 88, for some reason, I have 10 quality songs, in my opinion, and 2 filler songs just to throw in to complete the dozen. Nothing really to write home about, but there are some quality songs that I would stand by, 3 or 4 that are excellent.
Okay. Well, just a reminder that we're doing our in tandem video. So we're also going to be releasing the top 10 movies of 1988. That'll be on Rich's channel. So if you get a chance to check that out, please do. And if you're over there, and you watch that video, please try to watch our videos as well. We have up videos from 1965 all the way up through the current year. So we also post Spotify lists down below. So if you like one of our playlists, please jump in there and listen to it as much as you would like. So today, I kind of drew a short straw, and I got to go first on both the music and the movies, and Rich gets to back cleanup on both. So something is wrong in the universe. I'm going to jump in, and I'll go first here. So I'm going to kick it off with probably maybe the most rockin' tune of the year. I would have to imagine a little bit of glam rock and hard rock from Living Colour. I got Cult of Personality leading off here. Some great guitar work in there. I really like at the end of it where the drumming kind of switches time signatures a few times, and it reminds me of a punk rock element. If you get a chance to listen to the whole album, there is a lot of glam and punk rock elements throughout the whole album. But I thought these guys really kind of stood out as a rock band for 1988. Number 2 for me, I've got my boys from Metallica coming back in with the big hit off of their album from And Justice for All. This is One. Music video was highly touted as a great one. Mixed band playing in concert with an interpolation from the Johnny Get Your Gun movie, black and white movie about a soldier who loses his arms and his legs, his ability to speak, his ability to see, and then he's basically asking for death. So I didn't like what I didn't like about the whole album itself was the deletion of the bass that was done post-production by Lars Ulrich from the band. I think it was a huge mistake, maybe some pride issues there that were going on. But they've since gone in and had various producers try to put the bass back in to make it sound better. Number 3 for me is U2. They're on the height of their popularity here. From Rattle and Hum, this is All I Want Is You, a bookend track, maybe a top 5 or 6 song from U2 from me. Great song, beautiful song. There's other ones on here like Angel of Harlem I could have picked as well. Silver and Gold I think was also on Rattle and Hum as well.
Yeah, it's a good tune too, man.
Good tune. I loved it. But I went with All I Want Is You. I think it's a really, really tender song that kind of stands the test of time. Number 4, I've got from the Traveling Wilburys, Volume 1 from the supergroup. I've got Tweeter and the Monkey Man, maybe one of the most original titles you were ever going to run across in the 80s. Bob Dylan's as a lead singer on this, and they use various song titles from Bruce Springsteen material to fill in the lyrics. It's kind of interesting. One of the lyrics says, "Tweeter and the Monkey Man are hard up for cash. They stayed out all night smoking cocaine and hash." Really interesting. It's about a transvestite and a drug dealer, basically on the run from a law. So what could go wrong? Number 5 for me is maybe the best song of the year. I've got Tracy Chapman's "Fast Car" from her self-titled debut album. The sincerity of Tracy's lyrics and the simplicity of her melodies are just a wonderful change of pace from what was normally being released in late 80s. And I really dig this album all the way through. There's so many personal tracks on there. There's even a track on that album about domestic abuse, some about war, and just some other just straight up love songs that are on there. But Tracy is, she comes into the music scene with a big bang. I love it. And closing out this side from Edie Brickell and the New Bohemians, I've got from Shooting Rubber Band at the Stars, I've got "Circle." I know the big track was "What I Am." That was probably their big charter, but I like "Circle." But it's kind of a small little ditty about the importance of friendship and making the friendship last the test of time. And I wanted to put that on my list. That's my side 1.
Awesome. Yeah,
Great side, buddy.
I have 3 of the 6, so we're hitting 500 right out of the chute. I'm not going to give it away.
Okay.
It's got a Doc's book, sandbagging a little, that.
It's nice going last, eh, Rich?
Love it.
Doc would never do anything like that.
No. You guys are still at 100 now when you do it, so that's okay.
All right. Continuing on with side 2, I've got from the Waterboys, "Fisherman's Blues." I think their magnum opus for their material. I've got "World Party." Could have picked 5 or 6 tracks off of here. They have a few covers, including a Van Morrison cover on here that's really good. And a "Bang on the Ears" on here, the title tracks on here. But I went with "World Party," a little bit more of a rockin' tune where they mix heavy metal guitars with fiddle playing and a nice drum line, and it's just completely different from some of the other material on the album. But a great album. I think everybody should take a chance to listen to this at some point. Number 2 for me, got my boys REM. That seems to be a no-brainer. If they have an album out, I'm probably going to have a song from it. I've got "Orange Crush," song, about Agent Orange, that was used in the Vietnam War. What I really like about this tune, other than the great bass and drum line, is the nice bridge where there's a helicopter and megaphone talking in your ears. But if you listen to it on the headphones, it's kind of swirling. And it had that helicopter sound, especially, that seems to be going around your head as you're listening to it. So REM, really great album for them. It's really underrated for the most part. There's some few gems on there that I think people should check out. Number 3, I've got from Leonard Cohen's "I'm the Man." I've got "Everybody Knows." Leonard was a guy that I listened to, in the late 60s and early 70s. And then his material just seemed to be, spotty for the most part, as far as, reaching the public eye and being popular in any regard. But this album was covered quite a bit. Probably the most notable cover is from "Concrete Blonde" from the "Pump Up the Volume" soundtrack. But it's a great tune. He's more of a spoken word type of artist. Not everybody gets into that type of genre, but I like it. I really think it's poetic. So switching gears, at my number 4 spot, I've got we're going a little bit of hip hop back to back here. So the first one is EPMD, which is Eric Sermon and Parrish MD, a rap duo that have a song called "Strictly Business" from their self-titled album, using a sample of Eric Clapton's "I Shot the Sheriff," looped over and over again. I love the back and forth vocals and a lot of pop cultural references in there. "Land on the Lost" is referenced in here. Also, Muttley is referenced. Remember Muttley from Dick Dastardly as a Hanna-Barbera cartoon? Yep. He's mentioned in here as well. I mean, only guys our age are going to get the references in that. And that's kind of fun. That's the fun thing about some of these rap songs, is when they mention things that only our generation understands. So number 5, the second hip hop song, I've got "Black Steel" and "The Hour of Chaos" by Public Enemy from their highly acclaimed "It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back." It's about a black draft dodger during the Vietnam War who refuses to serve, so he's thrown in jail. The lyrics kind of go, I got a letter from the government the other day. I opened and read it. They said you was suckers. They wanted me for your army or whatever. Pitching me, giving a damn. I said never. So it basically chronicles him being thrown in jail and then being rescued by members of his posse who break him out of jail. And it's got the typical Chuck D and Flavor Flav type of flavor to it. So it's a great song, maybe the most important rap album of the 80s. And closing off my record is from Talk Talk. I've got I Believe in You from their Spirit of Eden. Maybe their most pop accessible song, despite the subject matter. Mark Hollis wrote this song about his brother Ed, who was also in the music industry and wrote some of their earlier tunes. But Ed suffered from a heroin addiction and died of an overdose at a very early age. It's a very heartbreaking song, but a very powerful song, and I wanted to include it on my album. So that rolls it.
Great. It does sound like 88 because 88's one of them years where hip hop and rap were just growing and going to take over real soon. So real cool, and you still have some of the MTV staples mixed in. So very enjoyable.
I think that's a great way to put it there, Rich. It sounds like 88, man. Things are changing pretty quickly in music, and I think Brian's covered it off pretty nicely. If you want the truth, I kind of stick in my wheelhouse a little bit more, but that sounds like 88, man. If you turn on the radio at any time, yeah.
Especially with the culture and things that were about to happen with music, so it's very representative.
Right.
Yeah, perfect. Totally. Very good, buddy.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. So, Doc, you're up next, buddy. What do you got?
88, man. Van Halen has an album out. What do you think I got?
It's a no-brainer.
Going with Black and Blue off OU812, man, to start off my album.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I like David and I like Sammy, so I like both parts of Van Halen. And I think Sammy's, keeping them alive here in one sense, but yeah. Eddie rips it on the guitar really good in this one, man, and got a couple of really good tunes off this album, if you want the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that album.
Black and Blue is a rockin' tune, man. That's what I can tell you. That's a good rock song from Van Halen. The guitar sounds fantastic from Eddie, and Sammy sounds great, man. So I won't get into the details of what the song's about, but sex, drugs, and rock and roll are kind of prevalent in that one. So I'm going to follow that up with something Brian had earlier there, man. I've got Cult of Personality, man, from Living Colour, coming in at number 2.
Nice.
It's a good rock song, man. It's got a lot of vibes to it, and this band probably should have been bigger, maybe. I think Brian, you touched on this. These guys have some talent, man. I'm not an album listener. I guess I got through that all part, but this one, I really do like the tune, and I still think it's a great rock song too. And it does have some different vibes to the tune as well. So, like I mentioned, they got their start getting touring for the Stones, and that's how this came out for them. And you think that would have just leaped them up to a different level, and it just didn't click, which is kind of a shame.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm coming in behind that with, I don't know, that country rock song or whatever. I don't know what it is. Southern country rock. It's Steve Earle's, man. Copperhead Road. It's going to come in at number 3 for me.
Yeah, it was close.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got that southern. It's not a country song, man. It's a rock country southern mix kind of thing. And I like my Leonard Skinner and my 38 Special at certain times too, and kind of has that little bit of that vibe in one sense too. Great little storytelling about Copperhead Road and my daddy before, and doing some runs out there with some booze and stuff like that. But cool little story. Great tune. Actually, just saw the video maybe a couple weeks ago on this one too. Actually, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I got Orange Crush coming in right behind it there, Brian. So from REM.
Good.
Yeah. The back and forth sound on the headphones and stuff like that sounds awesome, especially at the megaphone and stuff like that going through things. Just the middle of the tune sounds great. But even like the drums and the bass sounds on this song, you guys know, I think it sounds like before they get into the tune, man, it could have been a Cougar Mellencamp song to me or something like that. Just the way the drums sound, I think it's got that, could have came off of or something like that, and it had that sound to it. And I like a lot of that stuff, man. But this song's just a great. It's a meaningful song, and it's got a lot of undertones to it. But it's a great REM tune too, man. So yeah, Brian, I do like some REM, man. So I'm kind of with it there. I'm in a pop side at it.
There you go.
I like it. Yep. I got the soulful Stevie Winwood coming in right after it, buddy. We'll roll with it. So
Nice.
yeah, this is one of those MTV hits that are still hanging around here in late 80s, and sounds 80ish in one sense, but it doesn't sound 80ish in another sense, if you know what I mean. There's horns. It's got a soulful, bluesy undertone to it. Pretty simple. Sometimes simple songs are the best songs, man. Sounds great. Stevie sounds fantastic, man. That guy's voice is butter sometimes, man. It's awesome. So, great tune from '88 in my eyes, man. I'd move my head to that one if it was kicking. Gonna end off my side, man, with some Melissa Etheridge. Bring Me Some Water. Then hit this side for me. Pretty good debut album, man. And I don't think she gets a lot of love in the female rock neighborhood, shall we say. You know, this is a pretty good debut album, man. You know, Similar Features is on this. There's a couple other good songs on there. Bring Me Some Water is a rocking tune, man. And I think I've liked it then. I still like it now. And there's some other ones in the future that I like from her as well. So I'm going to end my side A with that one.
Nice. That's probably the surprise for me anyway. That's kind of the surprise hit from you.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit off of your path a little bit. I love the Copperhead Road pick. Obviously, I just barely didn't make it for me. And I love the drumming and the bagpipes in it. I think that it's so different. Everything about the song is different, you know.
Yep.
And I know Steve Earle, he's one of those guys he did spend some time in prison on drug-related charges, didn't he?
Yes.
I believe.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he did.
So, that's a good pick.
Yeah, I have a couple of years, definitely. And I'm surprised how much you like REM, to be quite honest. Because they seem a little bit too, I don't know, poppy and for your taste generally, but I could be wrong. Which is good.
Listen, you know, it's not to say that it always goes that way, but you know, some of the rock kind of loses me along the way too. And I change my taste, and if it fits more into the pop neighborhood or along those lines, that's what I'm like. There's a lot of great pop songs that happen throughout the history of music, man. If it's a good pop song, I'm gonna like it. It's gonna make my list. That's the way it is.
That's one of them. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Very good.
Onward
we go. Side B. You flip it over, and this one pretty high up. It's starting my side as well. Brian, you'd mentioned this one earlier. Tracy Chapman's Fast Car is coming in right to start this side.
Perfect.
Classic.
Yeah, classic tune, man. Another one here that sounds like she got a buttery voice on her too, man. This is easy to listen to. Relevant then, relevant now, and it's another one of those simple songs, man. That's just catchy as hell. What can you do? It's you can hear it, dun, 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 and then you start hearing it in your head, and then you got a fast car. Before you know it, you're singing it in your head, and then
it's true.
It's catchy. It's a good song, man. It's a really good song, and yeah, it would be in contention for Song of the Year for probably me as well. So I'm going to start my side B. Coming in with Crowded House, man. Better Be Home Soon. Right after it. I said before, man, I got no idea that I like Crowded House as much as I do, but maybe this is showing, you know, outside the. I got some Van Halen, man, you know, but what can I tell you?
Mix it up.
Some things are going to make my list, some things aren't, which may be shocking in some senses and stuff like that because they appeal to others and not me. Whatever. Neil Finn may be a little underrated, I think. In one sense, you know, not to say that I like all of his stuff, but like I said, you know, he's popping up quite a bit on my list, or just not making my cut here as we move along. And pretty good tunes, man. Better Be Home Soon is a really, really great tune, man. Once again, it's not a heavy song or anything like that. Just a really, really good rock pop song, man. And it's smooth. It's a slow song. It's really good. Kind of fits my side here as we move as well, and it was an easy place. I got the Wilburys, Handle Me With Care, buddy, coming in at number 3. What can I tell you?
I figured.
Yeah, that super group, man. You know, Yeah, I think there has to be something off this album. That's just me. I think we all like everybody in this band, and that's.
Yep. All five.
I think we respect them all, and these guys are all talented, and it's catchy. It's got everything you want in a song, right? You know, and Harrison, like you said, this is that's got to go on an album. You can't do that one here as another track or something on the last album we did before and stuff. And it's like, yeah, you're right, man. Then get those Wilbury and get Jeff Lynne involved. You guys all get together. Trust me, you'll have a pretty big album. Well, you kind of did, right? So, Handle Me With Care, man. I think it's just a classic tune out of '88. And yeah, there's a few off this album that are in contention, right? But I'm going Handle Me. Guns N' Roses, Patience coming in right after it, man.
Yeah.
If you want to get right down to it, this might be in contention for Song of the Year for me as well, if you want to get down to it.
Ooh, okay.
I think it's a complete opposite to what you heard from Appetite. This is off of, I think it's Lies. And there's some rockin' tunes on that album, man. But Patience is another one of those songs that I kind of put in the same neighborhood as like Fast Cars or even Better Be Home Soon or something. Very simple, very easy to listen to. Not much, you don't have to bang your head against it to listen to it. Axl sounds great, man. Axl was a huge front man, and let's face it, they're in contention for the biggest band in the world at one point here as well. There's a reason, man. They were popping out some pretty good tunes, and this one's a really, really good one in my eyes. So, Patience number 4, man. Number 5, yeah, Brian, I like the Waterboys. You know that, buddy. So I got the title track, Fisherman's Blues, coming in off their follow-up to This Is the Sea. Yeah, what can you say, man? Scott's got every instrument in the book, thrown in every song that he's almost ever written, and let me tell you, you hear them all. When they click really good, man. This and This Is the Sea is their peaks for the Waterboys for me. If you listen to those two albums, not gonna like it all, but I think you'll pull some stuff out of there, even if you're just a casual listener, that are going to be like, yeah, man, that's appealing, or that's talent, or it's both. So, and I'm in the both neighborhood. And Fisherman Blues title track, man, definitely making my list in '88. Yeah, that's a focused rock tune, man. That's what I can tell you that is. Gonna end my album. Brian, you had it earlier. It's my favorite U2 song, man. It's All I Wanted You. From Rattle and Hum. I'm gonna tell you, man, Rattle and Hum's just rocking. For even the stuff that's live is one thing that they've already recorded, but Hawkman 269, Van Diemen's Land, God Part 2, all the other ones you mentioned, Silver and Gold, all the other new releases off that album are freaking fantastic, man. Rattle and Hum's awesome. All I Want Is You, my favorite U2 song. What can I tell you? I think it's kind of like their masterpiece. I think Bad's really good too, man. There's some other great songs. They got a lot of great songs, right? So, yeah. All I Want Is You would probably be that'd be my pick of their best, and get right down to it, that probably is my favorite song of the year. So,
it's a good choice. It's a great song.
Yeah,
I guess the biggest
Bad Part 2, I forgot. That's a great rock song. Great.
Yeah.
Maybe the biggest surprise for me on that side is that you are such a Crowded House fan. I mean,
yeah.
It's funny is that until I started like hanging out with a bunch of different people from music, I didn't realize how popular they were in like certain circles, like Australia,
big time,
and in the Netherlands. And it's like, these guys are just massively popular.
Huge.
And, just in the United States, they were popular, but only the hits were popular.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's kind of a surprise. And Guns N' Roses is not a surprise. I figured, well, Guns N' Roses has any material out, Doc, he'll squeeze them in there.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no, right?
But that song is so different.
But yeah.
That song is a mellow song compared to most of their other work, so it's a good choice. I like it.
Thanks.
Very good. All right, let's jump in and finish this baby off. I have a lot of the same songs, but a couple of obscure ones, a couple fillers. I'm going to lead it off with Handle With Care from the Wilburys. Doc mentioned the supergroup, but you both have different songs, but I have this song. You got 5 Rock and Roll Hall of Famers in one band. I mean, come on. I mean, it's hard to top that. Jeff Lynne, like we say, was producing albums on the side from Harrison, Petty, and Orbison. Got the boys together, threw in Dylan, and you got this classic where they take on these different identities of the Wilburys and melodic all the way through. Great blending of voices. I love Roy Orbison when he comes in that I'm so tired of being lonely. I still have some love to give. Won't you show me that you really care? And then the chorus with Petty and Dylan with those twangs. Everybody needs somebody to lean on. It's a great song. So that's going to lead off my album. It was an important album back in this year. So my second tune is All I Want Is You. So that's a trifecta.
Nice.
I had that. Right on Hum, U2. One of my favorite love songs ever, for sure. Top 5 U2 song for me. I like a lot of their stuff, but this is a great one. This is vintage U2, the best they have to offer. And the lyrics, Bono's a great songwriter. I mean, he comes up with some great lyrics. I like it's simple, but all the promises we made from the cradle to the grave, and all I want is you. And then comes the Edge's guitar. Just a beauty. Gives you chills when you see him in concert. I saw him twice back in those years, and they put on a fantastic show. Great arrangement. So that has to be on my list. Number 3 is Fast Car. Tracy Chapman, another trifecta. This is like a masterpiece of songwriting for me. She's got that folky kind of husky voice, very emotional. She's talking about personal things, meaningful lyrics, realistic situations, a woman trying to get out of a tough circumstance, overcoming obstacles. You can fill in the blanks what they are, whether it's poverty, homelessness, better job, getting out of a relationship, whatever. She's got a fast car. She's going to get away. My 4th track is Up-Tempo, The Proclaimers, out of Scotland, the Twins. I'm going to be 500 miles. It's got that. That's like an earworm. It's just doom, 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 doom. You're bound to catch along with that. That's catchy, appealing, puts you in a good mood, bopping around the house. I heard it in the movie Benny and June with Johnny Depp and Mary Stuart Masterson, rather. It's kind of a quirky movie, quirky song, but it's going to make my list. Next up is Robert Palmer's Simply Irresistible. Quintessential 80s. I just like those videos with the girls swaying behind Palmer. He's dressed up, looking debonair and out front, and you got these chicks in the back with the black suits and the red lipstick and the hair pulled back, and they're all just swaying to the music a little bit. Cool song. And I'm going to end my side one with Rod Stewart, Forever Young. Soft rock, written for Stewart's children. He was in his late 40s, early 50s at this time. He had young kids, like 8 or 9 years old, from another relationship, and he wanted to write this song. One of those beautiful, touching songs that brings back memories of loved ones in their prime. Forever, keeps them forever young, whether you're looking at a photograph or whatever it is. That person's etched in your mind as being young and vibrant, even though we're all aging and working towards the end. Again, I just want to say that this was the title. He had to give Mr. Dylan a song credit because it was too closely associated with Dylan's classic Forever Young, even though they're different melodies, different lyrics. But Bob got a songwriting credit as well on this album, on this song. So that wraps up my side one.
Nice. I have to bring up the fact that, I admit that I had to look up what a Hava was, right, on the Proclaimers song, and it's just about whenever a person's talking a bunch of gibberish,
Yeah.
which is fitting because that typified my life probably back in 1988.
Yeah.
It did at every pub I was listening to that song before the pub closed on Friday nights too. Right? So.
Sure, that was all over.
Yeah, and I also love Roy Orbison's falsetto voice and the Wilburys. He just brings that extra flavor to the band.
Nobody else sings like that. It's totally unique, and it elevates the song. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say exactly. I mean, Well, I'm so you can hear it, right? It's awesome.
Yeah.
But you know, Simply Irresistible. There's no telling where the money went, and then
Yeah,
you know,
that's
Forever
right.
Young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These songs were massive, massive songs in '88. Man, there's not a problem for having these songs, man. That's if you ask me, man. So far, all three of our albums are sounding like '88 to me, man.
Yeah, they
But-
really do.
All right, let me kick off side two, and it's going to be another trifecta. Cult of Personality by Living Colour.
Awesome.
So that, like you guys had covered it, it's hard rock, borderline metal at times with that riff. I mean, it just jumps in. Political references, you got Malcolm X, JFK, FDR, Mussolini, Stalin, all across the board. A passionate lead vocal, some clips from different speeches thrown in, and a little sound effect. So I love the song. Those guys are talented. I don't know why they didn't carry it on and become massive stars, but this was like almost a one and done as far as I know. I mean, I didn't follow their career, but this, the only thing I know them for is Cult of Personality, I have to say. My second tune is by Bruce Hornsby and the Range, The Valley Road, kind of mainstream pop, piano based. His piano is very distinct to me. It's the way he plays it or the way he mixes his notes, but it has like a voice of its own. He's got a soulful voice. You know, it was big in '88 as well, so I wanted to include that. Next up is one Doc had, Roll With It by Steve Winwood. Very soulful, got the horns. It's just one of them, almost a Motown kind of vibe with the R&B.
Yep.
Roll With It, baby, and then you got the horns in the background. It sounds very much like a Motown-inspired song. Steve Winwood, throughout his career, is very very consistent. He puts out great material, whether he's in a band or he's solo. It's hard not to latch on to him. My fourth tune is Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, I Hate Myself for Loving You. Another one of those epic 80s songs. It was a big hit, number 8 in the U.S. Joan Jett is a badass rock star. She brings attitude. All of her songs kick a little butt. What else do I have on here? Mick Taylor of the Rolling Stones, ex-Rolling Stone, playing a solo on this. And this was inspired, or this song was the inspiration for the Sunday night theme song on NFL football.
Oh, yeah.
Waiting All Day for Sunday Night, I Hate Myself for Loving You. Carrie Underwood, Faith Hill, and I think Pink almost, one year they used her as well. So I wanted to include that. I was running out of songs to like. My next one is Leonard Cohen's Everybody Knows. I agree with Brian. Poetic, lyrically driven, spoken word, not everybody's taste. That I'm Your Man album is a pretty good album, and this is the song I picked from it. It talks about the human condition and different things like that. Definitely an acquired taste, but I like his style of writing. I just want to read a couple lyrics and then we'll finish it up. I just like the way his ironic lyrics here. Everybody knows that the dice are loaded. Everybody rolls with their fingers crossed. Everybody knows the war is over. Everybody knows the good guys lost. Everybody knows the fight was fixed. The poor stay poor and the rich get rich. That's how it goes. Everybody knows. And it goes on from there. There's like 5 or 6 passages like that. It's really cool. And I'm going to end it, because I only had 11 songs I liked. I'm going to end it with Don't Worry, Be Happy by Bobby McFerrin. True filler. I couldn't come up with a 12th song. And this was all over the radio. 3 Grammy Awards, kind of a reggae style. It's got a whistle going on. Very positive song. You know, no matter how depressing or downtrodden things are, don't worry, be happy. Sort of a positive vibe to end 1988 on. So that's where I went.
Did that get re-released later on or something? Or that seems like very old.
I think that's the year it came out. That's what won the Grammys. I don't know if it was.
Yeah.
It might have
My
been.
God.
You're getting old, Doc. Like
Yeah, maybe that's it, buddy. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, it's 34 years old. Is that possible? Holy God.
That is
My
crazy
God.
to think about, right? Right. So we hit on Cult of Personality on that side, and Rich and I hit on Everybody Knows, and then you and Doc hit on Roll With It.
Right.
That's right.
And we had the three trifectas: Fast Car, Cult of Personality, and All I Want Is You. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
I mean, I didn't have very many
right
honorable mentions, you know, because it just
I didn't
wasn't a
have
whole lot of
anything
stuff.
except for everything on Rattle and Hum. I love that. Would have been my honorable mentions if we were allowed to have a bunch of songs from one album.
Right.
They
I mean,
would
I
have,
had
or like End of the Line with the Traveling Wilburys with Tom Petty taking the
right.
lead on that. So I don't have a lot.
I had She Drives Me Crazy by the Fine Young Cannibals.
Fine Young Cannibals.
They had Wild Thing by Tone Loc, which I caught was kind of a fun song, and you know, they sample Van Halen, you know, song from their Van Halen one. So
that's right.
I love She Drives Me Crazy, and I actually put that on the following year because it came out as a single. So I'm going to probably feature that next time out.
I had a couple of Cinderella tunes that were in the mix. You know, Don't Know What You Got Till It's Gone and Gypsy Road. In fact, Don't Know What You Got Till It's Gone was actually my last cut, and Bring Me With Some Water. It was that spot. So I also thought The Flame was pretty good as a pretty good power ballad from Cheap Trick, actually, out of that year.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't have any Metallica, buddy. There, you know, there's one again. You know, if I was that album is not very indicative of it. But basically, to me, Master of Puppets and then the Black Album and Justice for All. I mean, there's, you know, some things about it you can like, but you know, Lars Ulrich destroying it like he did post production. You know, they still talk about that. Metalheads still talk about that to this day. Really?
Know? And basically, I mean, you know, now it's like a big running joke that, you know, no matter what, when Metallica releases an album, keep Lars Ulrich out of the production studio.
Yeah, I would say, you know, just for me as like Metallica in general, it's kind of like just a just missed band. You know, they're like, it's yeah, I understand they're very talented and they're massive and everything else, and there's something that just misses with their music to me personally, where it really doesn't connect the way that it does with a lot of other people, right? They're massive. So they still might make an appearance later on in my life, but you know, it's going to be a tough one for them to get on my list. I'll say that.
All right.
But,
well, all right. I think that's going to do it for 1988. We appreciate everyone listening. Be sure to check out our Spotify list down below so you can listen to the songs that we chose. Check out our other videos from 1965 all the way through 1987 as well. And also check out our top 10 1988 movies that will be featured on Rich's channel. So with Rich and with Doc, I appreciate you guys joining me today. We appreciate everybody showing up, and we'll see you guys in 1989. Take it easy.
ciao.